Power. I thank the universal truth and the absolute laws of nature for guiding me, protecting me, and giving me the strength to endure the imperfect. I shall attack with vigor, making progressive moves. A divine mind knows, a divine mind shows. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. Peace and power to the people that struggle. As you come on in, please know that this is a safe space. Please know that this is a space of learning and getting learned up. Please know that this is a space of educating and being educated. This is a space for questions and answers, comments and concerns, conversation, dialogue. It's a space of intelligence, a space where we get rid of false narratives. This is your space, a space of love, building unity on a path towards true liberation. As you come on in, classroom assistants, please keep all contact information in the chat for the duration of class. Please keep all funding links, all funding information in the chat for the duration of class. Please fund this war effort. Fund the war effort. If you or anybody you know is in need of anger management, please book an assessment. You know if you need it or not. You know if you feel like you wanted to use violence, and we're going to get into that specifically today. Okay? You know who you are. You dig? You know if people stay far from you. If you need anger management, please book an assessment, get you some help. Don't play. Keep believing in all this other weirdo shit. These eclipse gonna do this. The world getting ready to shift. The earthquake this and all. Keep believing in all bullshit and not believing in yourself. And you're gonna find yourself by yourself in a mess. Book an assessment. Get some balance. Okay? We've been telling you in this class specifically that all that weird shit is a distraction. Believe in you and know who your enemy is. Become militant, a soldier of you. Okay? Figure it out. Let's spending bread on garbage and get yourself right. Okay? If you or anyone you know is in need of a domestic violence intervention, book an assessment. If you believe that your family member, your pastor, your imam, your boss, your employees, your students, your parents, damn it, your uncle or your goddamn granny, if they need an intervention, book an assessment. If you are in an intimate relationship, abusive situation, book an assessment. Find out what you need to know, the behaviors, the alerts, the warning signs. Remember, the life you save could be your own. All right? Get yourself an assessment. Let's get to it. Okay, listen up. Another speed class here. So stay with me as we are allowing this information to get to you. I want to get rid of false narratives that are in the media, that have been written about in conventional news publications and stuff like that, and get to the realness of what's going on in these streets with our people and the politics and these actors, okay, that prevent us from living the best quality of life. I'm telling you, hold on, work with me. We're going to run through this quickly, okay? First of all, we're going to see who got their ass up, washed up, and in class. Now, I can't see if you brushed your jibs and got the cat shit from your eyes and all that. Can't see it. I'm trusting you got up and you hit that damn water. Okay, it's an early class, so share it, Tag your classmates. Let's get to it. Adrian Graham, first in class, first 55. Yeah, 55. Yeah, get it right. And Brad Jones is in the spotty spot. T. Gray, what up, Tierra? Bushhead, Philip Boone, Kaka Stone is in the spotty spot. See, Blades is up. Yeah. Vitamin Vision TV, Geechee. Rick Gatlin in the spotty spot. Who is M. Dot is here early. Go ahead, M. Dot. Uptown Dre, 55. Got him. Goddamn, got him. So good. What's going on? Maxwell Trucking LLC, TC, Late Charles, salute. Christopher Farmer in the spotty spot. Nina Smiles is back in effect. Yeah, she up in here. Yeah, they up in here. Terrell Williams is up in here. George Johnson, no relations, up in here. He part of the 55 gang. Turner Ira, Walaikum Assalam, wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Ramadan Mubarak, yes. Mark Lewis in the spot. Bernadette is in the spotty spot. Yeah. Old Head TV. Yeah, snuff butt to you and a 55. Take that shit with you. Yeah, hold that. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Ken Williams. Mr. Mac is up in the spotty spot. Yes, indeed. PJ Allen, 55. Hold that. Yeah. Yeah. Michael, 55 for you. Hold that. Angel is in the spotty spot. Landon, hi to you, whoever you may be. Welcome if this is your first day in class. D-Haven Irby, 55. D-Haven, keep for 55. Just like when he was in junior high school. 55 for D-Haven, y'all. Give it to him. Give it to him. Always cutting class. Yes. Yeah. We're in the spotty spot. Yeah. Let's go. 55 gang. I see y'all. Move it up. 55 gang be up in here. Cutting class, smoking trees, and all that. All that trucker jewelry and all that. That trucker jewelry don't work up in here, D-Haven. All that jewelry don't work. Damn it, this is class. Care how fly you is. 55 for D-Haven. Let's get to it. Now, violence interruption. And we have to send our condolences out. We lost another young person. In my belief, 50 is young. 50 years old, shot last night in Brownsville. Okay? Yeah. Along with another part in which they are calling Crown Heights, we still see it as Brownsville. An 11-year-old was shot. And I believe there was 2 more other shootings throughout the city last night. As we know, gun violence has escalated significantly. Nowhere near early 90s levels, but significantly since the pre-pandemic. And as somebody who consistently works in the field independently, you dig what I'm saying? Salute, much appreciated, D-Haven, for funding the war effort. Consistently working in this arena, we're going to get into it today. Now, I want to get into that first. So please tag the crisis management system. Please tag Mayor Adams. Please tag the gun czar, who we have not seen. I have not seen the gun czar physically nor on the media since the position. Okay? No fault of his own, no. trust. We're going to speak on the politics of this thing here, okay? Please tag Hakeem Jeffries, the federal representative for BK. Yeah. All of the state assembly people, all of the city council, tag them. Tag them as they get to hide behind these titles. All right? Yes. Let's get into it. There was an article, a New York Times article sent to me by one of my comrades, Brother Abraham, who works diligently to keep me informed and abreast of certain things, especially on the city governmental level. Now, he didn't have to tell me about the in-depth of the article because I experienced this very same thing myself early in the days when we first initiated anti-gun violence movement in NYC, in Brooklyn, in East New York. I felt this thing initially. So for it to still be going on makes absolutely no sense to me. But here we go. The article is about two violence interrupters, right, in Brooklyn who were, harassed, assaulted, arrested, and tortured by NYPD. Okay? In 2024, for this still to be going on in itself is a crime. Now, these two individuals are going to be filing suit, I'm sure. All right? Now, if you don't know what violence interrupters are, if you never heard of the program, which is crazy, I don't want to get too deep into it because I have a lot to cover within this quick hour. It is a program that was designed by what they're saying is an OFA, who they're saying is an OFA, who is an epidemiologist who designed this program to deal with violence among people the way you would deal with germs or any other illness or ailment that is seen and viewed as a virus within a living organism. So they taking this holistic approach to gun violence, okay, by incorporating people who have knowledge of violence, who have knowledge of anger issues, who have been incarcerated, to go back into these communities or communities, period, and curb, dent, and make an attempt to eliminate gun violence in these communities. Not only communities, but highly impacted communities, the most violent communities among us as melanated people. So we're talking about Chicago, where it originated. We're talking about Philly. We're talking about New York. We're talking about Baltimore, D.C. We're talking about Memphis. We're talking about Oakland in L.A. And eventually the program went international, to go into Trinidad, to make an attempt to go into Brazil and Mexico. You understand? All over. Even tried to get into the Gaza Strip at one time. Okay? This is only based on the success of the program due to those who were committed to working. Now, let me read some of the article for you. For years, New York City has employed a two-pronged approach to reducing gun violence, relying on the police and on the publicly funded conflict mediators known as violence interrupters who try to diffuse disputes before they escalate, including into gunfire. Okay? Okay? Now, when they say for years, we talking 2 decades. 2 decades, okay? But the February arrest of 2 interrupters has caused simmering tensions with the police to boil over and threatens to undermine a key part of Mayor Eric Adams' approach to curbing shootings and murders. The tension's been there. And I'm telling you, for somebody who initiated the program in New York City back in 2010. Been there. Tensions. These tensions are not new to any type of individual or group who made an attempt, okay, to fix what has been going on with our people, okay, since we have been under these oppressive conditions. Because that was the initial approach of the Black Panther Party for self-defense, to be the fix that we needed in order to push for true liberation. You understand? Nobody, especially any old phase, want us to correct ourselves. Okay? No one. No one. All right? No one. So it's always been a tension there. Always. The two sides share a fundamental goal, so they say. That's wrong. There's no fundamental goal for the government to want our people to survive the ills of gun violence. Do you understand? Do you get that? So that's wrong right there. There's no fundamental goal for people who are from the community to be in total alignment with police. Not happening. Police fundamental goal is not to heal the community and prevent gun violence. That's not their fundamental goal as police officers of the United States of America, of New York State or New York City. That is not the fundamental goal of police or policing. It's not. The two sides share fundamental goal despite their strikingly different methods, where officers have the power to arrest interrupters, often are former gang members who in some cases have served prison time, rely on street credibility to steer people from crime. Okay? Over the last year, though, interrupters say officers have cursed at them, shoved them out of the way when they try to break up fights, and arrest them for minor offenses. Then on February 9th, 2 members of Save Our Streets, SOS, a longtime anti-violence group in Brooklyn's Crown Heights section, said officers had handcuffed them after they tried to calm a man being detained for drug possession. Okay? Now, this has been going on since they made an attempt to arrest me. Day one. Day one, in front of what we were using as our offices. Right in front, right on Sutter. After We had our initial meeting and briefing as we were in our Operation Ceasefire uniforms. Right next to the office, the precinct on Sutter, knowing who we are, who we were initially, because the funding for the initial program had to be fought for. Okay? Knowing how we were supposed to operate, new to some, but in my uniform, as I made an attempt, as some do, to throw away, to discard a plastic Gatorade bottle into the garbage. I tried to throw it. It hit the garbage, fell on the floor, into some debris and wetness on the floor. As I went into the bodega to get something to pick it up with and not my bare hand, before I could reach the counter, I felt on my back a presence. Me understanding where I'm at in the Bahamas and knowing that none of my team had came in the store with me, startled, turned, spit, and pushed off, knowing that what I was feeling wasn't just a person, it was a vest. So it was a police vest, pressed up on me, and I pushed back. Yo, what are you doing? Not knowing it was police, he's on my back. Now I'm startled, like, yo, what are you doing? I'm in my stance now, because somebody broke my 360 from behind. It's an overzealous cop. Maybe a rookie, maybe not. But I'm asking, what's the matter? You just gonna, this is his response, you just gonna throw trash on the ground, disrespecting it in front of me? Now, at no time did we see police, did I see police, even though the precinct is right there, we just came out of the office. So now there's a war of words, back and forth. And I'm kind of stunned because I'm in uniform, not in street clothes. I'm in what they're calling our uniform as we are now embarking on this new endeavor to cure, to put a dent in violence, because this is what we are believing that we are doing. The very first program within the 5 boroughs to do so. Now, me and him have this war of words, me being triggered, me still just getting off of parole, back in this environment, making an attempt to do this. First day, dealing with police the way I've known to do it when I've done nothing wrong. Now I'm saying to myself in my head at that time, damn, I'm going outside to pick this bottle up that I just discarded. Why is this dude on me like that? Back and forth is the words. Escalating, because now I'm ready to snuff. It took my comrade, Tislon, who was very instrumental in the success of the program, to say, hold on, bro. Calm down. We didn't even start yet. This is the first day. Calm down. Let him do what he's going to do. We got work to do. So as I get the ticket, as he write up and take my ID here, get a ticket, keep it moving, we already knowing what this is going to be. 2010, we already know that there's going to be pushback for what we're doing. And in that, from that very minute, we bust ass. The first year Operation Ceasefire in East New York. The first year, 60% drop in homicides and covering the entire 75th precinct. And then broke it down to just specific areas. We walked from the Bammers to Linden to Penworthman to Boulevard to Pink Houses to everything to Sutter Gardens to Cypress. Hours for hours. From 2 in the afternoon to sometime 1 in the morning. And then have debriefings. Busting ass, snow, rain, sleet. The first year, loving our community, getting to those who we know got hammers on them. We know it. In a brand new thing that never been tried in New York. And we had the team to do it. But there was never, ever a cohesion with the police. Never. And it was never expected. We even watched them arrest the program director in front of the office, who is now happens to be the gun czar. Arrested him. Took him down to 75th precinct, and it took the XO in charge at the time and said, "What are y'all doing? How?" Old fake cops, old fake D's arrested him while he was in the car that we had draped with Curavan. Operation Ceasefire. The hell you arresting him for? Knowing who he was at that time when they had us going to roll calls, specifically saying these are people helping the community. So there's never been and never will be an alignment between these groups and law enforcement. Never. Understand that. They will never fund, encourage, and assist melanated people to help them out of the conditions set by capitalistic oppression. Never. It will never pay the black man to fix himself. Not gonna happen. There will always be deterrence, separation, and political apparatuses to assure that the programs don't work. So now, we get into this arrest, right? At the time, 2 violence interrupters, Mark Johnson and his supervisor, Daquan Stanley, were wearing clothing that identified them as outreach workers. Still, a swarm, and if you watch the tape, a swarm, there's about 30 officers, dragged them to the ground. You can see the video. Some punching and kicking Mr. Stanley. "I felt so helpless," he said in an interview. Okay? Mr. Stanley had sustained a gash on his forehead, bruised ribs, and spent hours with his ankle shackled to a hospital gurney. And I guarantee you, if Mr. Stanley, if he did any time, I guarantee you he was never in jail. He was never incarcerated in conditions with a gash on his forehead, bruised ribs, and shackled to a gurney. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you he was behind bars in the worst of spots and they end up like this, that he just ended up in his own community, making an attempt to heal, to fix, to curb. I guarantee you that. He and Mr. Johnson received summonses for disorderly conduct that were later dismissed, as they always do. Got to charge you with something. That's just what it is. Okay? They have indicated in court documents filed by their lawyers that they plan to sue the city. Since December, two other interrupters have notified the city of their plans to sue over what they say were false arrests stemming from other encounters. These encounters are consistent to the work. Make no bones about it. Consistent. I've been through it. Other interrupters have been through it. Other hospital responders, program managers, directors have been through it. Law enforcement doesn't acknowledge it. That's why I left the program. Not once, but twice. Because there's no seriousness with it from the top down. You can be arrested, you can be shot, you can be murdered. We've had violence interrupters shot numerous times. Why? Why? Because no one respects it. Because as you come through to help your people don't know what to make of it. Because as soon as you're on the scene, police are around. Law enforcement is always around. They don't understand that law enforcement will lock you up too. They don't understand that. Your people looking at you as if you some type of rat. As if you can't be trusted. As if you just an extension of a system that has already oppressed them. So you're in a very complicated situation here, which means that you would need your higher ups to have your back. And they don't. Because the higher ups, those who reach out and get the budget from the old fake government, are partying with the old fake government, right? Having parties with D-Nice is cutting up. Dancing, taking trips in air balloons, in Dubai and shit like that. In back rooms when these incidents happen to try to simmer these things down. Trust me, I know. This shit been going on for a long time. Long time. Now, does it work? It's a Band-Aid on the situation. Yeah, it's a Band-Aid on the situation. Is it effective? It could be with the right people. But what's the end goal? The end goal is never to curb gun violence. Because you're still dealing with the situation of miseducation, poverty, underemployment. So it can't be we just coming out and telling people, yo, y'all need to chill, stop shooting each other. Yeah, okay. That worked about as good as just say no. Yeah, people had on just say no t-shirts and still crunching, smoking crack a mile a minute. Just say no. Kids watching their mama smoking Jones, crunching in a house with just say no t-shirts on and just say no commercials. You kids, you kids get yourself some cereal. Ain't no milk, ma. Get the powdered milk. Make you some milk. This the shit. Slogans don't work. So to get out there and say, don't shoot, hands up, I want to live and all that, there has to be an extensive working when it comes to our people. Yeah, because the very people you make an attempt to assist tell you to kiss their ass. I go through it every day. Yeah, people who are in domestic violence situations, people who are in situations where they're about to commit a crime, people who are in situations that deal with anger management. I've had people I've helped for weeks at a time feel good for a week or two and turn off, don't even log in anymore. Oh, I'm good. Only to hear from them a year, two, maybe 6 months later. Yo, I'm toe up. Yeah, this shit happens. So you can only imagine people who are in the mix of it and have no intention of stopping, or so high out their mind from prescription drugs, from illicit drugs, from illegal shit, and consumed in a decades-long lifestyle, 2 decades, 3 decades of believing in nigga shit, that they feel that they are right and exact by harming themselves, destroying our communities. You gotta be right and exact when you're talking about programs that heal specific symptoms, because gun violence is just a symptom of the oppression of our people. You can't cure an illness fighting the symptoms. Now, the article continues. Courtney Bryan, the executive director of the Center for Justice Innovation, which runs Save Our Streets, said in a statement that her organization had met with the police and city leaders about the arrest. As the general public read an article which says that a program meets with the police, already you lost the trust of the community. Y'all still doing this shit? It don't work. Y'all done tweaked it until y'all just took the damn program and broke it. Quote, to ensure our staff and all violence interrupters are treated as the indispensable skilled partners they are. There's no partnership between them and police. It never should be. Police don't care about you or your community. They police for the government. What is a community without gun violence, without prostitution, without drugs being sold? That is a community that doesn't need police. Therefore, it is not smart to believe that law enforcement wants to work with your black ass. That is not what their higher ups, and that is not what they speak about with each other. Constone, supporting the effort 100%. Much appreciated. Now, city officials plan additional meetings between the two sides. We've been meeting with them for 15, 16, 17 years. This is not new. They meet with police regularly, on the regular. On the regular. Police is active within this. Shit ain't new. City officials plan additional meetings between the two sides, more funding for violence interruption programs, and training for the police and outreach workers to form better partnerships, a spokeswoman for Mr. Adams said in a statement. This vital work will produce the best outcomes if our officers and violence interrupters continue to work together, the spokeswoman Kayla Mamalak said. Really? Do you see how this is printed? Do you see what happens when other individuals read this who are not part of police, who are not part of these programs? Oh, they working with the police. They meeting with police. What are they saying? You see how the media can cause an even greater divide between the community and those who are making an attempt to help? Interrupted said they were not sure why tensions with the police had increased, but many believe officers have become more aggressive amid the defund the police movement and other calls for criminal justice reform. Exactly. Without funding, without police in these communities, they can't eat. So you telling somebody who was raised to believe that they are the omnipotent administrator, that they are the great white hope, that they are all powerful, that they're not needed when it comes to black folk? Yeah, there's going to be tension. And tension from people who have every mechanism of the system at bay. They can arrest you, they can beat you, they can handcuff you, and man, get it in court. What does that do to the mind of the worker of these programs? I'm just saying. What does it do? What does it do to the community who watches this? Okay, here we go again. Police don't understand what violence interrupters do, said Mr. Corey, a cop who retired in 2022. They don't know what they do yet. I was part of the first team, 2010. Yet they still don't know. Meetings after meeting, march after march, backdoor meeting after meeting, funding, refunding, branding, rebranding. From ceasefire to cure violence to crisis management system, police still don't understand what they do. Documentaries, studies, research studies by the John J. Criminal Justice. Huh? Y'all still don't know what they do? Tiffany Burgess, an outreach worker in the Brooklyn group Brownsville End Violence Out, Bevo, filed a claim against the city after she was charged with disorderly conduct in November. On the night in question, she went to a barbershop after work and was there with other neighborhood residents when the police came in. Officers accused the crowd of smoking, drinking, and gambling with dice and demanded identification. In a barbershop. Smoking and drinking. I see people smoke and drink all day, every day. On the street. Now, Ms. Burgess, who was wearing her work identification badge at the time, was arrested after declining to provide a state-issued ID in the very precinct she worked. But they don't know what they do. Right there. She was held in a precinct for more than an hour, her wrists and ankles shackled. Charges was later dismissed. What's really good? What's really good? They don't know. The police don't know. It is damn near basic knowledge at this point. You don't see them sagging. You don't see them doing anything offbeat. Okay? You see them in identifying clothing. You know what colors the gang members wear. You know what color beads and insignias that they wear. You know all that. But you don't know what violence interrupters, you don't know what community outreach workers, you don't know what organizations are in your community, and you meet with them. They go to roll call. They're at the community board meetings. They're downtown in City Hall, and you still don't know what they do. And your mayor is a cop, an ex-borough president, an ex-state person. Not only the mayor, damn it, the chiefs. You got Chief Madre. Y'all still don't know what these people are doing in the street? Yeah, okay. Okay. The program is having issues because the individuals up top is still playing grab ass with those people who fund it, with the politicians who sign off on allotted amounts, while these people on the ground is risking their lives every day. The faces of this shit, who the news want to speak to, are partying D-Nice on the cut. Louis bags in Dubai, making deals with corporations and getting commercials. That's why the shit don't work. They allowed it to be tweaked and now it's broken. Community trust is broken. Good people who initiated and worked with the program, seen the politics and the bullshit and slid. Fuck out of here. What we look like working with that shit? It's a shit show. So don't let that false narrative ride. It's a false narrative. They don't want it to work. So you gotta pull up out of it. I've been pulling up. I told you I've been pull up out of the system. Straight up. Straight up. Non-profit 501c3 or 501c4 and all that other bullshit. It's the police making sure, it's politicians making sure that it doesn't work. Next up, Close Rikers Island campaign. Full of shit. That's why the gun violence has escalated. That's why crime has escalated, because they reformed bail. They attempted to say they was closing Rikers Island, so there was no true punishment for a knucklehead that want to push old ladies off of stairs and shit like that. That want to rob kids of cell phones and shit like that. There's no punishment. Crime festers. Okay? Simple as that. So they hit y'all, beat y'all in the head with that bullshit. Close Rikers Island. Stop solitary confinement. And all this other wild, weirdo shit. Really? Okay. What's the deterrent then? The criminally insane motherfuckers just gonna stop doing what they do? A senior New York City official acknowledged on Monday that Rikers Island, one of the nation's most notorious jails, would most likely not be closed by the legally mandated deadline of August 2027. Now, they just gave some boy and his family $28 million settlement. And I'm pressed for time. We're going to say that. But I want y'all to hold that. That dude tried to hang up. As officers watched, you can see the video, you can see it all. And he tore himself up. Now, the island and the city is to blame for it, right? And the correction officers. They supposed to take blame for that. Check this out. You got people walking by seeing him hanging and nobody intervenes, said Madeline Feliciano, Nicholas's grandmother. How does this happen? It happened because he kept doing it. He was feigning and trying to hang up on numerous occasions. And you dealing with correction officers who is not their job to make sure that he's in the proper mind, not to hang up. We don't know if he was threatening them bodily harm before he threatened himself bodily harm. Ain't nobody in their right mind in this new age of no solitary confinement, no Bing days, and correction officers getting cut in the face, getting stabbed, attempted rapes, to be going up in no cell with somebody who is intent on harming himself. See, they don't put that narrative in there. Why was he in there? For probation or parole violation. What was his initial charge that got him on parole at 18? Now the violation is what has him in there. What was the rearrest charge for? Not victim shaming. I've been there. I've watched people hang up. This is not new. People been hanging up since the 70s. Well, Melly Mel said it, right? In 83. What Melly Mel said? Till one day you was found hung dead in the cell. It was playing the seed. Your life was lost. Right? I was singing the sad, sad song of how he lived so fast and died so young. Remember that? This ain't new. My very first time, significantly on Rikers Island, I watched somebody hang up. COs couldn't do nothing then. Okay? Couldn't do nothing then. Shit ain't new. This narrative that they're trying to paint of the criminal justice system and those who are engaged in it is off. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. We're going to save that for later because I want you to understand exactly what goes on Rikers Island. While all this closed Rikers Island talk is just dumb. It is stupid. When we're dealing with criminally insane people on a regular basis, people who we just watched stab up their entire family, shit like that, people with severe mental health issues. Where do you put them? Because again, while they're telling you that they're closing Rikers Island, they've also closed psychiatric help in hospitals and institutions. So these people just could run amok on the street, right? So because he tried to hang up. Yeah. You know that. Come on, man. Y'all know what it is. We'll save this for later. I'll come back in the afternoon and give an extensive breakdown on why this is bullshit. Okay? This false narrative and these tears. Listen. I never, and you never will hear me talk about any of that reform bullshit. Prevention. If you don't fix the mind of the individual or individuals when it comes to crime, you need to have the harshest conditions, period, when it comes to law enforcement. That's it. I did mine. From as an adolescent to an adult. I know what it takes. Ain't none of that shit broke me. I had to change myself. Okay? So we'll be back. As always, don't believe in me. Believe in my belief in you. Don't buy into these false narratives and this dumb shit. We have to fix ourselves with work, with therapy, with manifestation of new belief systems. There's no mixing with this shit. All right? There isn't. Fund the war effort. We'll be back later. Quick run. Remind me, y'all. I'm telling you, classroom assistants, make sure we get on this. There has to be an extensive breakdown on why you have to make sure that you change the mindset of a person before you could even try to reform punishment. The fuck is you doing? That's backwards. Thank you for those who funded the war effort. Keep funding the war effort. Keep supporting the truth. We getting ready to get into the summer months and it's going to be hot. All right? 55 gang. Get your